Friends, thank you for watching my channel. I just want to remind you, if you need wallpaper, go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. Tell them Spencer sent you. In fact, if you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they'll be sure to give you 10% off at your checkout. No matter how much you order, they have a wide selection of wallpaper. Check it out. Tell them I said hello. So this is Spencer Colgan again, from Spencer Colgan is Wallpaper. And also we paint on our channel, right? And so I want to show you how I go about cutting precisely, cutting precision. We have a textured ceiling and we have a flat wall. So the cut line will be less of a challenge to make it nice and straight. Let's get right to it. Let's wet the brush. Brand new brush anyway. But wetting the brush allows me to have the filaments are more pliable. Well, it's not stiff, you know? So we wet it, get all of the excess water out, and that's how we'll begin. So, look at that beautiful paint. Now we just made sure that we stirred it up. Make sure that, watch this, that you mix the paint very well, because sometimes if you don't, what lies up in the ceiling of this rim is often the base color. Okay, so we got a yellowish paint here. It's been mixed, but you want to make sure you stir it well enough that when you're cutting, you're not putting on a disproportionate amount of base to yellow. And so you have to be conscious of this issue. Okay, make sure you've done your due diligence in getting that amalgamated into the body of the paint. After that, you know, ideally, this is the depth to which we dip our brush. And I dip it several times. I want all of the bristles or the filaments to have paint in between them. I want it loaded up. If you're dipping all the way down and you have paint all the way up to here, it doesn't look professional. And secondly, you're gonna have paint all over your hands. So this is, halfway is really the limit. Okay, I'm a little below half, but I would say halfway. Don't go any further than that. There's no need to. You're not painting with this part of the brush. You're painting with this part. Why do you have paint all the way going up? It's really the sign of someone who doesn't paint. You ever hire a painter and he puts his roller directly on the floor in the room? You know he's got problems, because now you got grit on that roller. You got to get that off. That drives me crazy when I see that. Okay, so here's our line. You got to learn some mechanics about cutting. Now, I am not a fan of this. If you have a Werner ladder, there's a little shelf here, a little lever that allows you to hang the paint can. I am not a fan of it, but since I don't have my cut bucket with me, I'm going to resort to this. Take notice of where I landed the brush. I didn't land it up near the line. I don't want to do that. This is a very good brush with which to draw a straight line. Now, is that enough paint there? Let's say it's a perfect line, which it isn't yet. Okay, listen to this. There's something called AccuBrush on YouTube. Some guy who doesn't paint except in his commercials. Now, first of all, how's that line? That line is perfect in terms of being straight, but it's not done. And you'll see why later. It's not done. Don't do it halfway. Now I'm a lefty, so there's my left hand. Look at how I'm holding the brush. I'm holding it at the barrel, and I've got a bunch of fingers on it, like I'm smoking a cigar. Now watch this. I'm moving my body too. I'm on the ladder, I'm moving my body. My legs are moving. My whole body is moving in the direction in which I'm painting. Okay? I'm moving. This is one of the ways I do it. I'm moving my leg. I'm swaying my body's weight to the left. Okay? And if I were not videoing, I would not be breathing heavily. I would hold my breath. So if you hold your breath too, it's a way of not shaking, right? So on my channel, I also sell a painting kit, and the mirrors that I sell are very inexpensive, but they're very practical. They fit on your wrist. And so the mirror for cutting, it's called a cutting mirror. And I use it for when I cut and hold my breath so that I can look in the mirror to make sure that I'm not turning blue. It's very effective. So if you want a cut mirror, just let me know and I will send you one. Because sometimes if you hold your breath too long, you'll lose your color, and you don't want to do that. Okay? So my line is perfect in one sense, in that it is straight, but it's far from done, because if you look close, there's missing color, right? Missing color, and we don't want that. We don't want that. Let's get away from the drip marks. Okay. Of course, I'm doing this for beginners. You veterans out there, hey, if I took that long, I wouldn't get paid, etc., etc. This is for the beginner. And let me compliment you beginners, because you do a great job. You know why? You give contractors a run for their money. Now, look at how I get into the corner. I land my brush 1.5 inches away from the corner, and I pivot my brush. See that? See, and my filaments, when they hit the ceiling, do not go beyond. They don't go beyond that. So, don't try to use your frail human hand to make that straight, because you'll fail. Use nature. Your filaments will not go up onto that ceiling if you simply pivot the brush. All right. Now, we're friendly to spiders on my channel, so we don't kill spiders. We let them live unless they stay on the brush. In that case, we memorialize them by making them part of the wall. I do that sometimes when I'm skim coating. Don't mind me. Hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath. Look at that, look at that. Take notice of how many filaments are touching the ceiling. Not many, less than 1/3. I'd say 25%. What percentage is 1/3 of 100? Well, we know that percentage means per 100. So if you have 25%, what would the percentage be if it were 1/3? Can anybody tell me? So if 25% is 1/4, what is 1/3? It's 33.3, right? Yeah, how many times I go into a restaurant and I joke with the waiter and I say, listen, what's a normal tip here? I said, first of all, what's with this tipping? What is tipping? And I say with a straight face, I said, what is this tipping business? What is that? Oh, tipping is if you like the service, you know, you can add something extra if you'd like. And so I say, oh, okay. So it's not, you don't have to. Well, no, you don't, but, they say, but, you know, that's how we get paid. I'm like, really? I'm like, you don't get paid? They're like, well, we do, but we work on tips. So I'll ask these millennials. Now, mostly, I don't have millennials watching my channel. The average age for people who watch my channel are over 40. And it's mostly men who watch my channel. From the USA, then the UK. So anyway, you ask some millennial, right? Hey, listen, about this tip business. That's what I call it, this tip business. I knock them right off their confidence. What's with this tip business? They start wondering, where is this guy from? And sometimes if I'm in a good mood, I use an accent. What is, how you say, this tip? What is tip? So they think they're dealing with an idiot. What is tip? I don't, tip, what's tip? Well, tip is, they start dancing, you know, verbally. I'm like, no, I don't know. When millennials say, you know. I'm like, no, I don't know. Now, if they haven't given up on their tip by then, they start explaining. And then I go, what is good tip? I don't know. Well, then all of a sudden, they're mathematicians. 25%? 25%. What is 20% of this bill? Now, usually my bill for dinner is around $70, $75, usually. And so I say, whoa, okay, sometimes I'll say, when I really am having a good time and I got a real sucker, I'll say, okay, tip, no problem. What is 5% of this bill? So one woman says, 5%? 5%? I say, too much? No? 5%? No? Too much? No, that's not too much. That's not too much. So they think they're dealing with a guy who doesn't understand their language. So they'll start going, this guy, you know, they'll start talking about me in front of me. I kid you not, this happens all the time. So, you know, especially if it's busy or another waiter is around, you know, this guy wants to give me 5%. And they'll turn to me like they're speaking a different language and they'll say, no, like 20%. Okay, what is 20% of this bill? Billy, you got a calculator? I'm like, you don't know 20% of $75? I say, what is 2 times 7? So anyway, you discover how people don't know how to do percentages. And I was one of those kids because I had a bad teacher. So I really think it's a matter of not having the right teacher. But I mean, for crying out loud, everybody got a smartphone. Just Google it, man. She's like, Billy, how much is 20% of the... I don't know. Many years ago, I used to tell service workers, I don't know English. And so I'm sure everybody has dealt with this today. You know, somebody who just doesn't speak your language and they're like overly friendly, like, I don't know, please help me, I don't know. So I did that to many, many people, like in paint stores and stuff. So I used to say, I'm like, do you speak Polish? One woman said, do I look Polish to you? And then I said, good. Ja myślę, że ty jesteś bardzo ładna, no? And she says, I told you I don't speak Polish. Then I say, you're Polish, no? She says, no, I am not Polish. And I say, ja myślę, że ty jesteś bardzo ładna. Jestem chory muszę zwymiotować, no? And then they get frustrated and then they start looking for their manager and everything else. And I'm like, you're Polish, no? No, I'm not Polish. And then I go like this. No, I don't know. In Poland, yes, and I shake my head no. It means no. And then I say, and no, while I shake my head up and down, means yes. And then they go, oh. And then I say, you're Polish, no? Then they say, yes. Then I say, come on now, why y'all lying like that to me now? Come on now. All right, so what I like to do as a teacher is to show you. I don't need to be talking about it, so that's why I wasn't talking about what I'm doing, because I already spoke about what I'm doing and I'm just showing you how to do it. A lot of people will say, you're a good teacher, to me. And my answer is usually, I know that. No, just kidding. Now watch, I'm changing it up. See where I'm holding the brush now? Because I'm extending myself on the ladder, like I'm leaning over. So I'm adjusting my application. See that? You can do that, obviously. So I'm showing you a different way. Jestem chory muszę zwymiotować, no? Say that really fast. It sounds like you're angry. Ja myślę, że ty jesteś bardzo ładna. Now, when you get to corners, you gotta be concerned about pooling, P-O-O-L. Look at the way I'm handling the brush. It's down, then when I go up here, I turn the direction. See that? Because here's what'll happen if you're not careful. See that? Now that's an amateur. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. So you're careful around corners like this. Look, we pivot, and we just push up, right? Go easy. If you rush this, you'll blow it. Don't blow it. There we go. Look at that. Sometimes if you're on texture, you do this. Look. It forms a perfectly flat line. Then you just make it all uniform. See that? So you might ask, why do I mess with waiters? Well, I gotta entertain myself. You know? I'm all about entertainment. You gotta laugh in life. You know? It wards off disease. You're Polish? That's my favorite one. My favorite was this woman saying, do I look Polish to you? One time I was messing with a worker at the box store. I said, hi, I need sheetrock screws, please. Sheetrock screws. Girl says, it's down by the sheetrock. I said, oh, okay. Where is the sheetrock? She says, it's down by the sheetrock screws. I said, you gotta be kidding me. Did they actually pay you? You know what I noticed? When you talk like that, people treat you differently. They think you're an idiot. Where's the sheetrock? Down by the screws. Where's the screws? Down by the sheetrock. Unbelievable, man. Did I say that right? Like I'm asking her, where's the sheetrock screws? She says, down by the sheetrock. Where's the sheetrock? Down by the screws. Which means I don't want to help you. So then when I showed her, I'm not really an idiot. She said, I'm on my break. I'm on my break. You're on your break. But that didn't stop you from misguiding me and being rude. What's your name? Then they cover their names on their aprons. So now that you know how to cut, I'm gonna end the video because you're an expert now. If you can do this, you're an expert. Now, please hear me out. This is the most important part of the video. If you do not get the right brush, you will fail. This is a Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y, and it happens to be a Chinex brush. Okay? Keep your paint away from the barrel. And the last piece of advice I have to give you when cutting is when this is dry, I'll say it again, when this dries, you now take your brush and you go this way and you cover all of those little spots and areas that you missed when you went this way. And that's how you cut your walls to get a perfectly straight line. Thanks for watching.